Be me, 32. Work as a civil engineering project coordinator. Not a bad gig. Pays decently. Mostly just dealing with road maintenance contracts and drainage stuff. Unlike the masses, I've actually read theory and grasp intersectionality's nuances. Not one of those cringe activists, just someone who actually gets how power structures work. Sitting in the break room with some co-workers on a Tuesday afternoon, lunch conversation somehow turns to compliments and appreciation. One of the guys, Roberto, mentions he still remembers when someone complimented his shirt 3 years ago. Literally, 3 years. Everyone's nodding, like this is normal. Another guy, James, says the last compliment he got was from his mum at Christmas. Wait, what? Start paying closer attention because this seems statistically improbable. Third guy, Andy, says a woman told him, good job, on a work project last year, and he thought about it for weeks. These are normal-looking guys, not socially inept or anything. One of them is literally married. Can't help myself. Have to speak up. Wait, are you being serious right now? Years? That can't be real. They all kind of shrug. Roberto says, yeah, pretty normal for guys. Feel my eye twitch a little. This has to be exaggeration. Male tendency to be dramatic when they don't get enough attention. I get complimented like, I don't know, weekly? More? People compliment my earrings, my ideas in meetings, my organizational skills, whatever. It's just normal social interaction. Decide, this is actually kind of important to address. You know, this is probably because of patriarchal conditioning, right? Men are taught not to be vulnerable with each other or express appreciation. They're looking at me with that glazed expression, the one that means they think I'm making it political again. Whatever. Someone has to actually think critically around here. Like, you could compliment each other. Be the change you want to see. James does this half-laugh thing. Yeah, that's not really how it works. Okay, now I'm annoyed. This is exactly the problem with male socialization. They create their own problem, then complain about it. So you're just going to perpetuate the cycle? You could literally start complimenting each other right now. Andy adjusts his glasses. I mean, we do. Like if someone does good work, we acknowledge it. But it's not the same. Not the same as what? He hesitates. Like when a woman says something nice, it just hits different. Oh, here we go. This is the part where they reveal they only value female attention because they've been conditioned to see women as rewards. Literally, Madonna, whore complex in action, decide to take a different approach. Okay, so let me get this straight. You're saying you don't get compliments, but also when I try to explain why, you dismiss it. And you only value compliments from women, which is kind of proving my point about how men view women as emotional service providers. Roberto raises his hands defensively. Nobody said that, we're just saying, yeah, we don't get many compliments. It's just a fact. The audacity to make this seem like some kind of crisis. I've literally been catcalled, harassed, talked over in meetings, had to fight for every bit of credibility. And they want sympathy because strangers don't compliment their shoes? Finish my yogurt, getting ready to head back to my desk. Maybe, if men created safer social environments, people would feel more comfortable expressing appreciation. Can feel the energy in the room shift. That specific silence that means they're done engaging. Fine. I tried to educate. Not my job to fix their emotional stunting. Couple days later, working on a drainage project proposal. I need some input from the senior engineer, Paul. Paul's been here for like 15 years. Knows his stuff, but kind of quiet. Catch him in the hall. Hey Paul, you have a second? Need your expertise on the gradient calculations. He helps me out, super patient, explains everything thoroughly. Actually really helpful. About to thank him and leave when I remember the break room conversation and decide to do a little experiment. Social science in action. Thanks so much, Paul. Also, I really appreciate how you always take time to explain things. You're a great mentor. It's true. Might as well say it. His face does this weird thing. Like he's processing something in slow motion. Oh. Thanks. Yeah, no problem. He looks genuinely flustered. Actually stutters a little walking away. Huh. Okay, That was a more intense reaction than expected, but probably just because we don't usually have personal conversations. Not because of the compliment thing. That's ridiculous. Get back to my desk. Mostly forget about it. Next week, there's a staff meeting about the new fiscal year budget. Suffering through PowerPoint presentations about resource allocation. Paul's presenting on infrastructure assessment priorities. He's usually pretty monotone, but he knows his material. Making good points about preventive maintenance versus reactive repairs. Economic argument is solid. Meeting ends, people filtering out. Paul specifically walks over to my spot. Hey, thanks for what you said last week. Takes me a second to even remember. Oh, the mentor thing? I mean, it's true. Yeah, just meant a lot. Don't really hear that kind of thing much. He's doing that same processing face. Okay, this is getting weird. It was a throwaway comment, barely even thought about it. Well, you should. You're good at what you do. He literally lights up. This grown man, 50-something years old, reacting like I told him he won the lottery, just from basic professional courtesy. He thanks me again and leaves. Sit there for a minute trying to understand the proportionality of that response. It was just a normal compliment. The kind of thing people say all the time, right? Start noticing things more over the next few weeks, actually paying attention to how people interact. Women in the office do compliment each other fairly regularly. Cute bag. Great presentation. I love that color on you. Just casual, frequent, normal. Guys, though, they do this thing where they acknowledge each other, but it's always through jokes or insults. Nice job, nerd. Look at this guy actually working. It's like they're allergic to sincerity. But that's a choice, right? Nobody's forcing them to be emotionally constipated. This is learned behavior from patriarchal masculinity standards. They could unlearn it if they wanted. Mention this to my friend Sarah from the planning department. We're getting coffee. I'm explaining my observations. It's just interesting how they've created this problem for themselves, then act like victims. Sarah gives me a look. Do you ever compliment guys? The question catches me off guard. I mean, yeah, when it's warranted. I just complimented Paul. Once, after working here for how long? 3 years, but that's not the point. I'm not responsible for men's emotional needs. Sarah stirs her latte. Nobody said you were. But do you think maybe you have a blind spot here? Excuse me. A blind spot how? You compliment women pretty freely. I've heard you. But with guys, you seem to only do it if you're making a point. That's not true. Is it? No, definitely not. I treat everyone equally. I just have higher standards for professional interaction. I'm not going to blow smoke. Sarah does this non-committal hum that means she disagrees but doesn't want to argue. Kind of annoys me, actually. She doesn't understand the nuance here. There's a difference between supporting other women in a male-dominated field and just handing out participation trophies to men who already have structural advantages. Couple weeks pass. Working on a major project, complete overhaul of the stormwater system in the North District, huge budget, lots of moving parts. My job is coordinating between the engineering team, contractors, and city council. It's a lot, but I'm handling it. Except the contractor we hired, this company called Westside Infrastructure, has a new project manager, guy named Sam. First meeting with him does not go well. He's maybe late 30s, calm demeanor, seems competent enough, but he keeps asking questions that I feel are testing me. Wants to know about my engineering background, my qualifications for coordinating a project this size, whether I've worked with commercial-grade drainage systems before. Sir, I literally do this for a living. Managed to keep it professional, but I'm seething internally. Classic male behavior, questioning a woman's competence. Would he ask these questions if I were a man? Absolutely not. Next few meetings continue the same pattern. Sam's always polite, always professional, but there's this undercurrent of something. He questions my timeline projections, wants additional documentation for decisions I've made, asks to loop in Paul on technical questions, like I'm not capable of answering them myself. Finally, I've had enough. We're in a planning meeting, just the two of us reviewing contractor schedules. He questions why I've sequenced the installations in a particular order. It's a completely reasonable question. But I'm done. Sam, I need to ask. Do you have a problem with my project management? He looks genuinely surprised. No, not at all. Why? Because you seem to question every decision I make. You want second opinions on everything. You ask for extra documentation constantly. He's quiet for a second, considering. I do that with every project coordinator I work with. Somehow, I doubt that. His eyebrows go up. You think this is a gender thing? Is it not? He leans back in his chair. The last coordinator I worked with was a guy named Kevin. I questioned him constantly because he was lazy and cut corners. Before that, Michelle, same thing. I've been doing this for 12 years. I've learned to verify everything because when projects go sideways, it's my contractors who get blamed. Okay, that's a reasonable explanation, I guess. But doesn't explain the condescending tone. You could be less patronizing about it. I apologize if I've come across that way. Genuinely wasn't my intention. He seems sincere. Maybe I misread the situation slightly. We get back to work. Conversation stays professional. But I can tell there's tension now. Project continues for months. Sam and I develop a working relationship. Still don't particularly like him, but he's competent. His contractors do good work, stay on schedule. He stops questioning me as much, or at least does it more diplomatically. Maybe he finally realized I know what I'm doing. One day, we're doing a site inspection. There's been a problem with one of the pipe installations. Grade is wrong. Water's not flowing correctly. This is a big issue. Will require rework. I'm furious. Because this is exactly the kind of thing that should have been caught. Reviewing the plans with Sam and the crew chief. Trying to figure out where the miscommunication happened. Sam's looking at the engineering drawings I provided. Gets this expression on his face. These specifications are different from what we discussed in the meeting. No, they're not. These are exactly what Paul approved. Right, but in our meeting 3 weeks ago, we talked about adjusting the gradient because of the soil composition report. Check my notes. He's right. We did discuss that. But these specs are from before that meeting. Feel my stomach drop. I submitted the wrong version to the contractor. This is my fault. This is a $40,000 mistake. My fault. Trying to figure out how to handle this could probably argue that Sam should have flagged the discrepancy earlier, or that the crew chief should have questioned it. Sam's watching me, waiting to see what I'll do. I submitted the wrong specs. Saying it out loud makes it real. This is on me. I'll take it to the department head. Sam nods slowly. Appreciate you owning it. These things happen. We can work out a solution. He's being magnanimous, which somehow makes it worse. The crew chief is less forgiving, but whatever. We work out a correction plan. It'll blow part of my contingency budget, but won't derail the project. Later that week, having a debrief meeting with my boss about the mistake. She's understanding, but firm. This can't happen again. Need better version control, etc. I know all this. Feel like an idiot. Get back to my desk, and there's a sticky note on my monitor. Handled that with real integrity. Respect. -S. It's from Sam. Look at this note for a long time. It's just a compliment. Professional acknowledgement. The kind of thing people do. But something about it is bothering me. Can't figure out what. Keep working with Sam over the following months. Projects moving toward completion. He continues to be professional, competent, occasionally leaves notes or sends emails acknowledging good work. Smart solution on the valve placement. Appreciated how you handled that council meeting. Small stuff, but regular. Notice, I'm starting to look forward to his feedback, which is weird because I don't need external validation. My work speaks for itself, but there's something about the way he notices details, specific things, not generic praise. He actually pays attention. One day, we're wrapping up a meeting, and he mentions he's heading to another project site across town. Big project? I ask. Moderate. Working with the county on a water treatment expansion. How's their project coordinator? He smiles a little. Decent. Nowhere near as thorough as you, though. Feel an involuntary smile forming. Catch myself. Why do I care what he thinks about my work compared to others? his opinion doesn't matter more than anyone else's. This is exactly what he was talking about in the break room months ago, about how compliments from women hit different. I'm experiencing the same thing. His compliments feel more valuable than others. But why? He doesn't have more authority than my boss. He's not more qualified than Paul. He's just, oh no, I see what's happening here. Go home that night, can't stop thinking about it. The break room conversation keeps replaying. Those guys saying they remember compliments for years. Paul's reaction to basic professional courtesy. Sam's consistent acknowledgement of my work. How I've started to value his opinion specifically. Pour a glass of wine. Sit on my couch. Try to logic through this. The reason Sam's compliments feel good is because he's someone I initially clashed with. Earning respect from someone who challenged me means more. That's basic psychology. Nothing weird about it. But then why do I remember exactly what he said each time? Real integrity. Smart solution. Nowhere near as thorough as you. I can recall every specific compliment. Meanwhile, my boss told me good work on something last week, and I can't even remember what project it was about. This is the thing. This is what they were trying to explain. Scarcity creates value. Sam doesn't compliment frivolously. So when he does, it means something. Or feels like it means something. But I've been operating under the assumption that this is a problem men created for themselves, that they should just compliment each other more and the issue would resolve. Sitting with my wine, having an uncomfortable realization. What if I'm wrong? Not about everything, but about this specific thing. What if there's something more complex happening? Next day, back in the break room. Roberto's there, eating a sandwich. Swallow my pride. Hey, remember that conversation about compliments from a while back? He looks confused for a second, then remembers. Oh yeah, the years thing. Why? I've been thinking about it. Can I ask you something? Sure. Do you think it matters who compliments you? Like, does it feel different coming from different people? He considers this. Yeah, definitely. Like, my buddy's busting my balls in a nice way is good. But when someone outside my usual circle notices something, especially if it's specific, that sticks with you. Why though? He shrugs. Because it's rare? Because it feels more genuine when someone doesn't have to say it? Nod slowly. And the gender thing. You said compliments from women hit different. Yeah. That's not about, like, romantic interest though, right? It's something else. He thinks about it. Sometimes it is romantic interest, sure, but not always. It's more like women are more observant, more emotionally intelligent. So if a woman notices something good about you, it feels like it was really seen. Like you were actually worth paying attention to. This is making too much sense. Hate that it's making sense. But that puts unfair pressure on women to be emotional validators. Maybe. But nobody's demanding it. It's just nice when it happens. Projects nearing completion. Final inspection coming up. Sam and I have worked together smoothly for months now. Developed actual mutual respect. Maybe even friendship. In a professional context, the inspection goes perfectly. Everything's up to code. Council representatives are impressed. It's a genuine success. Afterward, there's a small celebration. Department head gives a speech thanking everyone. Mentions me specifically for excellent coordination. Feels good. Public acknowledgement. Sam approaches after. Congratulations. This was a masterclass in project management. There it is again, that specific warmth. Thanks. Couldn't have done it without a reliable contractor. I mean it though. I've worked on a lot of projects. This was exceptional. You should be proud. He's looking directly at me, completely sincere. I realize this is the most substantial compliment he's given me. Also, realize I'm going to remember this moment for a very long time. Just like they said. Years from now, I'll probably still think about this. The understanding hits me fully. I've been getting compliments regularly, my entire life. From friends, from other women, from family. Steady stream of positive reinforcement. And I've been taking it for granted. Assuming everyone experiences the world this way. When they tried to tell me they don't, I made it their fault. assumed they were perpetuating their own problem, blamed patriarchy, blamed male socialization, blamed everything except my own lack of understanding. Look at Sam, still standing there. This man who questioned me professionally, who I assumed was sexist, who turned out to just be thorough and careful, who's been consistently generous with specific, meaningful acknowledgement, who just gave me a compliment I'll carry forever, and I've given him what, in return? Think back over the months. I thanked him when appropriate, acknowledged good work in a professional capacity. But genuine, specific compliments? Can't remember a single one. Sam, can I ask you something? Sure. When's the last time someone complimented your work? Like, really complimented it? He laughs a little. You asking because of that break room conversation from last year? Blink. You heard about that? This isn't a huge department. Word gets around. Feel embarrassed. Right. So, when? He considers. My project manager told me I was doing solid work about 6 months ago. That was nice. 6 months. Yeah, that's ridiculous. You're excellent at what you do. Your attention to detail saved this project multiple times. Your crew respects you. You communicate clearly. You're reliable and professional. You should hear that more. He's doing that face. The same one Paul did. Processing. Surprised. Genuinely affected. Thank you. That. Yeah. Thank you. Watching him. Understanding now. This is what they were trying to explain. This moment, this reaction. It's not about being weak or needy. It's about being human, about wanting to be seen and valued, about how rare that feeling is for some people. And I've been so concerned with structural analysis and systemic critique that I missed the simple human truth in front of me. There's no clever comeback here. No way to spin this where I was right all along. I was just wrong. Not about everything, not about patriarchy or systemic issues. Those are still real. But about this specific thing. About assuming my experience was universal. About dismissing their experience because it didn't fit my framework. Standing there with Sam in the parking lot after everyone else has left. Sun setting, successful project completed. Feel like I should say something profound. Acknowledge the learning moment. Instead just, I'm sorry I assumed you were sexist at first. He laughs, surprised. You thought I was sexist? Little bit, yeah. Because I asked a lot of questions. Because you asked me a lot of questions. He nods, understanding. Fair enough. For what it's worth, I ask everyone a lot of questions. Comes with the territory when you've been burned before. I get that now. Pause. This job, being a woman in engineering, I'm used to having to prove myself constantly. Gets exhausting. Sometimes I see sexism, even when it's not there. Must be hard, always being on guard like that. It is. Never really thought about it that way, but it is. Yeah, it is. Well, for the record, you proved yourself thoroughly. Best coordinator I've worked with. There he goes again, making me feel seen, valued, specifically appreciated. The way I've felt casually and frequently my whole life. The way he feels maybe once or twice a year. You know what's messed up? I'm going to remember you saying that for years. Just like you guys said. And I get compliments all the time. I can't imagine what it's like actually going years between them. Sam smiles. It's not tragic or anything, just how it is. Doesn't have to be though. No, probably not. But changing culture is slow work. He's right. But that doesn't mean I can't change my own behavior. Make a mental note. Be more generous with acknowledgement. Not fake, not condescending, but genuine recognition when it's warranted. With everyone, regardless of gender. Seems like a small thing. Probably is a small thing. But small things compound. Sam heads to his truck. I get in my car. Sit there for a minute before starting the engine. Thinking about the whole arc. How I started this conversation months ago. So certain I understood the dynamics. Ready to explain it all through theoretical frameworks. And ended up learning something I couldn't have predicted. The worst part isn't being wrong. It's realizing how dismissive I was. How I centered my own experience and assumed theirs was a choice. how I made their vulnerability into a problem they created, when really they were just describing their reality, a reality I've never had to live. Start the car, drive home, already mentally composing what I'm going to say in the break room next time I see Roberto. Probably something like, "You were right and I was being defensive," which is going to be uncomfortable, but necessary. Growth is uncomfortable, especially when it means admitting you were the entitled one all along, the one who thought she had all the answers, who dismissed lived experiences that didn't match her expectations, who valued her framework over their truth. Yeah, that's uncomfortable to sit with, but here we are, sitting with it, learning from it, being better, or at least trying to be.